Oh, the acceleration has begun, and the next 3 to 6 months will be quite extraordinary on our path into higher consciousness, as many will begin to notice our crystalline bodies coming online. However, we will need to navigate a few hurdles, as when the high positive vibes accelerate, so do the lower, which means life around us may get confusing and even more chaotic than it is now. Now, basically, we are once again moving through the breakdown in order to get to the breakthrough. While this will take some due diligence on our part, we can and we will get through this time period together. And we will be immensely stronger for it. So I'm here to talk to you about this today and give you some initial health tips on how you can help prepare for well-being for your family, for yourself, and your neighbors as we navigate the challenges ahead. Let's call it our health prep kit for now, and we will add to it as we move forward into the next several months. So welcome everyone, my name is Tam, and I am an energy intuitive and have been helping people around the world for over 20 years. Today, I'm excited to share some really empowering information that will help support your wellness journey and help you raise your vibrational frequency. I will give you an update on where we're at from a planetary perspective and touch upon how to overcome any of the lower negative frequencies that might be headed our way. So let's jump in and take a look at where we're at now and what we might be encountering as we begin our journey into the September-October 2024 energies. The first thing that I want to touch upon is what I've been seeing in my practice over the past few months, because I've actually been encountering changes in the human biofield. Now, I want to explain this a bit because I know that many of you and your pets have been experiencing extreme fatigue, an uptick in physical, mental, and emotional challenges, and in some cases, what appears to be an acceleration of disease. Now, I understand we all want to point fingers at certain people, places, and things regarding why this is all happening, but I'm not here to discuss those things today. Mostly because even if I would agree with many of you on the various subjects of how we got here, I want to focus on the things that we can do something about, because it's going to take working together to win in this next phase of the game. Complaining and getting angry, even when we have every right to be, only drops our vibrational frequency. So I'm here to tell you that there are ways that we can heal. There are certain things that we can do, and I truly want to be in service and do my best to help us find answers to the issues that we're facing. For our greatest ally in the coming days is going to be ourselves, empowered with the knowledge that we will not only need to rise above the chaos, but that we actually can do it. And we will do it. So let me tell you what I used to see, and then I will describe what has changed from my personal experience. Now, before I go on, keep in mind that we are on an ascension path to higher consciousness and transforming into a fifth dimensional being. So there are several things here that I want to touch upon that might help us understand all of this just a little bit better and explain that some of what I'm seeing might actually have a very positive outcome despite appearances in the outer world. Now, when clients have come to me over the past few years, as most of you can probably guess, one of the main concerns is about their health and what they may have chosen to do prior to having what we will call knowledge about what's been really happening in supposed secret circles. Understandably, they are concerned about not just their own well-being, but their families, their friends, their neighbors, or quite simply the entire planetary body of beings across the Earth. Maybe they did or did not take the global medicine, which I'm stating in air quotes, of course, so they may or may not bring that up during a session, but most everyone is concerned about what they are now finding in the water, the air, and the earth around them. There is quite a bit of information coming out online from researchers like many of you, hundreds of excellent doctors who are working on finding solutions, and scientists and engineers who participated in many of the issues surrounding us that are just now realizing that they actually created part of the problems that we're seeing without even realizing it at the time. They were doing a job. They had a supervisor that gave them direction and they just followed it. Just like many of us, they took their paycheck and went home. And here we are, in the middle of what appears to be an edge-of-your-seat thriller that has cursed its audience and is now recruiting for the next round of actors and playwriters in the script writing camp of no return to create the next franchise in movie making, aka the planetary makeover. Nips and tucks in all the right places. Okay, I'm being facetious, of course, but it's a serious concern for everyone. And so I understand where this is all coming from because I see it daily and have had a multitude of conversations around this over the past several years. Our answer, while it may sound simple, is not necessarily an easy one, but I believe it is one of truth, and it has to do with us raising our vibrational frequency. This is not only how we transform into 5D, but how we stay above the chaos and not only survive, but thrive in a world that is in the middle of extreme change. A world where we choose to see the beauty of transformation into its own high-frequency magnificence and stop engaging the lower vibrations with our human thoughts and feelings. For this only reinforces the matrix and the old timelines. Meaning, if we tap into the negative stories that we see online, whether they are true or not, we only help anchor the fear and give them a bit more juice, if you will. Now, we are creators. We build our lives through our feelings and thoughts. We are actually abundant in everything, which, because we were tricked and disconnected from the true earth, the universal portal, and even ourselves, we are abundant in the negatives as much as the positives, like lack, low self-worth, and so on. This time period is crazy, yes, but it's also fantastic because it is showing us so many things about ourselves that we have an opportunity to learn in order to take ourselves into a fifth dimensional civilization. Or shall I say, bring in the fifth dimensional world into ourselves. The biggest lesson in our hands currently is to learn how to master our emotions without judgment and without fear. There will be in our days that we fall and we have to peel ourselves up from the ground and try it again. That's part of how we learn to walk from crawling. So we can use that as our companion of understanding as we move up into higher ground. The difference now is that we are learning to fly as opposed to walk. We are remembering moments out of the amnesia that we've had to endure. It's our internal preparedness and mental emotional strength that we are building right now. And these pieces are the building blocks of everything that will help us create the future. So stick with me as I talk through this, as I will share some positives further along in today's conversation and give you health tips that you can use at home to help mitigate any symptoms that you might encounter. be it mental, physical, or emotional. But let's backtrack for a moment so I can give you some perspective on what I'm actually seeing, because I think that's going to help. Now, when I started looking at a person's energy field or plasma field, which is part of our entire biofield, you can use, an image here in your mind that might look similar to an auric field. I'll post something here in a visual to help you in case you haven't seen that. But honestly, exact descriptions don't necessarily matter in this moment. But if you can imagine that when someone might be ill or depressed, or maybe they have any kind of a distortion or imbalance, the field might emit a less vibrant color. It might change color or have somewhat of a dent or a bend in the frequency. At least that's how I see it. It would be obvious to me that the body needed support in a certain area. It would kind of talk to me in a way by highlighting an area in need of treatment. There are a few other visuals or energy patterns that I would be accustomed to looking for as well, but this kind of gives you an example of something that I might see if I were scanning someone's body to help determine the issue, or at least where to begin the repair work that was needed. From an energy perspective, I could go in and tune the body's frequency and straighten that bend, if you will, as you would do if you were tuning a musical instrument. The area that I needed to work on was easily identifiable. Now, what I began to see last year was somewhat of a graying effect on the outer rim of the biofield. It looked as if there was another layer that was kind of thrown over a body, kind of like a thin cloth or a fuzzy, blurry kind of blanket. I also noticed black and dark gray spots and odd shapes that were dense and distorted, much like the water crystals that we see under the microscope in Dr. Masaru Emoto's work when he exposes the negative thoughts and words to water crystals. Now, at this point, we should be looking more crystalline-like, which those resonating in a higher frequency still do, but I was seeing overtones of these low frequencies that were looking as if they were poking holes in someone's field. So if you have been on your path for a while, and maybe you're resonating in a high consciousness, or you thought you were, and yet you have a weird moment where you're abnormally cranky or really snappy and emotional or feeling off or uncomfortable, I would probably say that it may be due to what I'm seeing, trying to get into the human biofield if it's not already just kind of sitting on the surface. I initially noticed it on an animal that I was working on. So while I thought it was odd, I kind of chalked it up to the animal being very sick and possibly being past the point of me being able to assist him. Now, I did continue to work on him energetically and could see his body kind of welcoming in, that higher frequency as it did become brighter within about 10 minutes or so. And I could see the body beginning to shift into healing mode. And the best way that I can explain it would be like giving water to a dying plant and kind of, watching it come back to life, springing back up as the nutrients and the moisture gave it the essence it needed to become whole again. Now, I was pleased that the energy frequencies were working, but I was confused at what exactly I was seeing. I did ask for clarity around this with Source, that's how I work, and with my higher self and guides, and also the pets' guides. And yes, for those curious, pets do have their own guides as well. But I was told just to keep doing what I normally do, and that what had transpired wasn't important enough in the moment for me to know the cause. So, to be honest, I just kind of left it alone and kept going. The pet got better and was stable for a few months, and then I got the call to work on him again. I saw the same issues coming back in his field, and the gray kind of blankety thing, if you will, it was there. So it was like he held the energy charge the first time as long as he could, and then when the body couldn't hold it any longer, or maybe he came into a situation where something from the outside interfered again or created that low vibrational frequency, the pet fell back into his illness. Now, I repeated everything like before, and he came back to life, so to speak, holding the charge a little longer than the last go round. And we've kind of been doing that ever since. So I thought it might only be something that he was going through. But then last month, I started noticing the same similar gray film around the field of someone else's pet, and then another pet, and then also a few people that I was working on. So I thought, well, this must not be only environmental, but planetary wide, because every pet and every person I was working on lives in various places around the world. And I knew it wasn't an ascension symptom, because that would be caused by a light quotient and look more like a Herxheimer reaction, or at least it does to me anyway, from the field perspective, which is different, right? That's where the body would be brighter and holding more light. So you're not feeling good because you're actually holding more light and the body's trying to catch up. But basically, the body would be, again, brighter, lighter, holding more light even when we're not feeling well, because the body and the mind are trying to catch up with each other as we take on more light with all of the downloads that we've been getting during, portals and eclipses and everything going on that is actually helping us move into higher consciousness. So I thought, is it in the air, or is it something happening in our own biosphere around the Earth? Big questions, right? Well, like I said earlier, I don't want to go down the road specifically, but I do want to talk about the similarities that I did see between the animals and the humans. That confirms, to me anyway, how we can use the information to help us heal and prepare ourselves to move beyond these issues, if indeed things are entering into our world from the outside that are beyond our control. So as I started seeing these things come up more and more, I found myself focusing on specific frequencies to help get the body harmonizing again, so I could focus on each individual needs for healing. For that seemed to kind of stabilize the animal or the person first, and then I could determine what each one needed for their personal healing journey, be it, supplements or food, or just an energy alignment at all, because that's different for everyone. But in short, it helped me see immediately that what was happening to the biofield was a frequency interference specifically, which is why I was seeing this strange gray color around someone's field. I mention all of this because I want to confirm that I have seen the biofield changes from what's been going on out there. So in case some of you were wondering if this were true or not, based on what some researchers and doctors are saying, from my perspective, I can tell you yes. I do believe that what I'm seeing is in relationship to the rumors of negative play, we'll call it that. But the good news is that what I found when working on someone's body, be it an animal or a human, is that I was able to help shift that energy and dissolve or lift off that gray and black distortion by supporting the frequency change within the field. This was not permanent, and I do not believe that it is permanent despite what other people are saying right now. And so what this means to me is this, is that in our current state of awareness, at least right now, if we practice raising our frequency, we can lift and dissolve these dense vibrational dots, blobs, and distortions, whatever you want to call them. We just have to change the radio dial, if you will, and tune into a different station. Now, when I focused on doing this, the biofield reacted and shifted back into a positive position. Now, I have always felt or known in my world that energetic frequencies are what we need to heal. This is partly why I became a sound healer and energy practitioner in the first place. The science is now starting to show that this is truly the case. We have studies and white papers that have confirmed how energy practitioners, similar to myself, have been able to change the progression of even cancer cells in a petri dish in the lab. Western medicine, for instance, has already started using vibrational frequencies to heal certain cancers with lasers and a variety of other vibrational tools as well. So what I'm saying isn't all that new if you've been researching this kind of subject for a while, but the challenge has been finding the right frequency that can match and heal an issue in the physical body. So there hasn't been a ton of information given to the public on this. You have to do some major digging to find more detail in the alternative space online or stumble across some healing practitioners that use things like sound healing and energy work or frequency-based tools like a Rife machine. And what's really important to note here, since many people are starting to hear about a variety of devices out there that are claiming to use things like scalar wave energy, please, please, please do your research before you invest in any of these products, because many may not actually be what they are claiming to be. For instance, there are handheld light wands and different TV or computer screens that people are saying emit scalar waves to help you heal. But I am concerned that these claims may be misleading people, and here's why. And by the way, if you have a pen or paper handy, you might want to write this down so you can do more research on it. As I'm not a scientist or an engineer, but from the quantum healing side of things, I have been told to be very cautious about any electronic device and its safety given the world that we're living in right now. There's a lot of people taking advantage of others, as we know, and there are some people that might have a different idea on how they're truly helping us because they have their own agenda. So again, we have to be really careful. My guides have always told me to utilize natural energy as much as possible because it's organic and it's something the corporeal body will recognize in order for it to do its own self-healing. Now, the way I understand it is that when people talk about these devices, they may refer to Tesla technology, which we all know holds quite a bit of value. However, many of these devices are being known as a scalar device, which they are not. What you need to know about Tesla and his findings is that Tesla waves, which are longitudinal, are indeed scalar waves and are the healing wave forms that, at least at this particular time, those are the things that we know work. They're the things that we need. But a Tesla coil is not a longitudinal, and therefore it is not a scalar wave. They are transverse waves. So in simple terms, as far as we are aware of right now, one is for healing, which is scalar, and the other is not. So to break it down in a way that we can help ourselves assess a device that's actually being promoted is that a scalar wave, just so you know, scalar waves are faster and they cannot be detected and are specifically longitudinal waves, like I just mentioned. The waves that are being emitted from a Tesla coil are what are called transverse waves. Now, those can be measured in hertz, and they can also be observed like generating light. So, devices that actually light up like a wand or have screens like a computer or a TV that are actually generating the light would not be scalar wave if the light is being emitted from the screen or the device itself. So that would make it electromagnetic and therefore would emit radiation. So if it's a transverse wave, in this case, it would not be harmonizing to the body. So even if someone is claiming a device to be scalar, if it has any of the attributes I just mentioned, then it is something that I might suggest you stay away from and or do some really deep research on it in order to protect yourself. Now again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an engineer. I am an energy intuitive, so I work quite a bit differently than some of my peers in these categories. But This is what I've been told by others who are scientists and engineers and doctors, right? So this is what I've been shown by those people and the higher beings that guide me. Of course, we are learning new things daily, and if you find something different, please let me know. I can easily be wrong. I'm going by what I'm getting the information on from other people and other beings as we all try and work on these things again together. But I want everyone to be aware of this now because we have some things coming up in the near future where this knowledge may be critical to our overall health across the planet. And you may not only be helping yourself, but you can help others as well by explaining this to them so that they can be cautious. I realize that some people have claimed to have success with these devices, but I've been told that there are false positives, and we do have to watch out for those because they have potential consequences in our future by using some of these units now in their current form. So just be aware, do as much research as I mentioned as you can. I don't have all the answers to what's going on with these things at the time that I'm recording this, but I can tell you from personal experience that I purchased a handheld terahertz wand device a few years ago to see if it worked as well as everyone had claimed it to be. This was before I was aware of the information I just talked to you about. Now, the first day I used it, I felt more energy. So I'll be honest, it felt like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then after a few hours, I felt a bit off. I tried it a second day and I started feeling a little bit nauseous. But again, I still had some positive results in there too, because my energy went up and I think I had a pain in one of my legs that had disappeared. So I thought, oh, this might be just okay. Now, the third time I used it, I could tell it wasn't harmonizing with my body at all. It actually started feeling like I was being rewired backwards or something strange was happening. Something wasn't feeling right. So I stopped using it. So I thought, okay, maybe we're just going to stop here. This is enough. Not a problem. A week later, though, my hair started falling out, and it took me several months to repair the damage. So all of that being said, these things are important to be aware of now because we are all very susceptible to trying new things that may not be good for us. And we have to help each other become smarter as we move through this next phase of our evolvement. There are so many great things around the corner to look forward to, but it's going to take a beat to get there, and we're going to be relying on each other through all of it. So jumping back to the subject of frequencies and how we heal. I've used this analogy before, but for those who are new to me, I will use it here again because I think it'll help, which is thinking about ourselves as a musical instrument. When a piano needs to be tuned, we call a piano tuner to come in and fix the piano. If the piano has not been played in a while or has been in an inhospitable environment, the piano tuner will have to go through up to 88 keys on a standard piano or possibly 108 keys on a few rare pianos and tweak each one over and over again to ensure they get a perfect tone, a perfect pitch, or for our purposes here, to get into a harmonious balance with itself. And this is where I believe we will find healing success no matter what comes our way, because we can use this information to empower ourselves and take action on what we can control. And that is our thoughts, feelings, and personal well-being. And this is where I want to help all of us build a unique and different kind of health kit. Instead of just packing away vitamins and tinctures and herbs to take when we fall ill, which still can be very important if they hold a high frequency. We'll go into that later. But this is more of a prep kit that we can start on now and hopefully get us to a stage of complete prevention where we build our vibrational bodies to such a point that no matter what is thrown our way, The dense gray matter that is attempting to hack our field cannot even stick and truly just kind of repels anything that is not of a high vibration. Now, one thing that Source has always told me to be aware of is that a low frequency cannot reach up into a high frequency. So once we attain what some may call, again, 5D consciousness, our frequency will be high enough where nothing resonating lower can get into our field. It's like cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment. So again, a low frequency cannot get into a high frequency. It can't survive. There's no nourishment there, right? So we could stand literally in the middle of a battlefield with bullets flying all around us and not be harmed because the resonance of density would only affect those that were in the same density or the same resonance, the same timeline, the same field, which we are breaking out of. Now, clearly, we aren't there yet. So please don't try and attempt something of the sort. That would not be a good challenge at the moment to take on. But this is where we're headed. And I imagine that it could explain why there might be some folks out there trying to prevent our evolution. For once we achieve these higher vibrations, the game's going to be over. Okay, so what do we need in this health kit that we're building and how does it work? Well, of course, we need to focus on things that help us achieve a higher state of being. We need to raise our vibrational energy frequency. So today I want to start you off with a couple of things that you can begin to do right now and incorporate into your daily routine. If you're already doing some of these things, then you're 10 steps ahead and on your way to building a really powerful biofield, which is absolutely fantastic. But for those who are coming across this information for the first time, or maybe you've heard about them, but haven't really dove into trying them on, so to speak, I would like to ask you to please be open and to pay close attention to the reasons that go with each of the foundational puzzle pieces, really. Because what I'm being told from our friends in high places is that we have yet to truly understand how powerful these steps can be. Since this video is a bit long today, I'm just going to include the first two for now and then post the others in a series over the next few weeks. Understanding the critical importance of this information, I will do my best to actually get the information out as soon as I possibly can. But part of this series will also include a list of high vibrational foods, because a lot of people have been asking about that, and also supplements as well. There are some that are going to be critical potentially to many of you out there while we go through this change. So I'm going to put some things together. You might actually be surprised with some of them. They probably wouldn't be listed in the same way that other people might be talking about them. But my goal here is to make this easy enough for you to personalize for you and your family, especially if the grid were to go down and you weren't able to utilize the internet for anything, whether it be to look things up, like information like this, or just purchase online, delivery that you might need for medicines or supplements, vitamins, that kind of thing. This is actually to help you start building your foundational immunity and bring more knowledge and preparedness into your personal world so that you can feel empowered and really confident that you can handle anything that comes your way. Like I said, things may not be easy as we move forward, but we are going to get through this. We just have a few little bumps to get through. Once we're done with that, everything is building upward only, which is going to be truly fantastic. So we're almost there, but again, we're going through a few things right now, and especially in the 3 to 6 month period that we need to pay attention to. So the first two foundations that actually build your vibrational quotient quickly and very effectively and strengthen every aspect of your life are grounding, or some might call it earthing, and meditation. So we're going to start with those two first. Let me explain why these two are the first and foremost on the list. And the most important thing to know is that they are free and in your control. They are powerful and they cannot be taken away from you, and are some of the quickest ways to actually raise your frequency and help heal your body, mind, and spirit. So we're going to chat about grounding first. What is it and why is it important? Now, first, be aware that we've lost touch with a fundamental aspect of our health, which is our connection to the earth itself. And it's actually why this form of healing might seem odd to some of you or even foreign to you, even though it should be the first thing that your body wants to do from its intuitive side. Now, how did this happen? How did we actually lose this natural connection? Well, planned or not, when we started wearing shoes with rubber and plastic soles, our natural connection to the earth was literally cut off, because that slice of unnatural product stops the flow of energy between us and the earth herself. So, what is grounding exactly? Grounding is beautifully simple. It's the act of connecting your body directly to the earth's surface. This can be as easy as standing barefoot on the grass or sand, or using specially designed products that connect to the ground. So why does this matter? Well, by making this connection, you're tapping into the Earth's natural electrical charge, allowing electrons to flow into your body again. Some health experts have started calling this practice vitamin G or electronic nutrition. They believe that grounding could be the solution to what they term electron deficiency syndrome, which is obviously a modern kind of ailment that may be at the root of various health issues. So let's quickly go over the science behind grounding, because this is not something that is woo-woo or just some spiritual fad. Our planet is alive with electrical activity. The Earth's surface teems with electrons, and our bodies are designed to absorb this natural electricity. Historically, humans were far more connected to the Earth, spending much more of their time in direct contact with the ground. But in our modern world, we've become disconnected, as I just mentioned, and this separation might be taking a toll on our health. When we are not grounded, our bodies can build up positive static electric charges. These charges, if they're not neutralized, may contribute to various health problems. Grounding allows us to absorb negative electrons from the earth, balancing out these positive charges and potentially bringing our bodies back into harmony. Now, these electrons act as a natural antioxidant in our system. They help neutralize the positively charged free radicals that can damage our cells and then contribute to the inflammation, of course, or disease. By grounding regularly, we're actually giving our bodies access to this vital electron exposure, which may be crucial for optimal functioning. Now, while research is still ongoing in Western medicine, early studies have actually shown very promising results from the scientific side and have confirmed that many honestly have claimed all along that potential benefits of grounding include things like a reduced inflammation, improved sleep quality, stress relief, enhancement in wound healing, thyroid and hormonal balance, better blood flow, and hundreds of additional benefits that are actually too many to name here. But you get the idea. Researchers have actually observed measurable changes in the body within minutes of connecting to the ground or using a grounding product. Some experts even believe that grounding could play a role in counteracting serious health conditions, including things like cardiovascular, respiratory, neurodegenerative, and autoimmune diseases, as well as even type 2 diabetes and cancer. So you can see why I'm including this as a foundation for your health prep kit. For if you need healing support when you are unable to make an herbal tincture or buy a supplement or medicine or running to the pharmacy to pick up something, if you can find a patch of ground to stand or sit or lay on, you can at least begin to recharge and strengthen your physical, mental, and emotional being. And not only can you do it, but you can do it quickly and efficiently. It also raises your body's vibrational frequency, which is why we're talking about this, which supports moving into the direction of a fifth dimensional being. The beauty of grounding lies in its simplicity. And here are some ways that you can actually incorporate it into your life. Walking barefoot. That's the easiest thing. Walking barefoot in your yard or at the beach, that kind of thing, perfect. You could wade in a lake, the river, the ocean. Again, you're moving on natural ground, or swimming in natural waters that are attached to. Also using a grounding mat while you work on or you sleep. Now, if you do yoga, they actually do have grounding mats for yoga, so you might want to try that. And then also grounding shoes, which is getting to be a little more popular now, where you actually wear grounding shoes that are made of natural materials. So things like the Birkenstock shoes, if anyone has them in their closet, even from years ago, they've never been touted as an earthing shoe, but they're actually made of cork and natural latex. So those actually do pick up the elements. Now, there are shoes specifically created as a grounding shoe. Some of them might have a copper metal piece on the bottom, along with everything else that they're naturally made of. But again, you can find them, do your research. If you decide to purchase a grounding product, again, take a look at all the ones that are out there, because they're not created equal. There are some cheap products out there that I don't want to say usually the cheaper ones are the ones that don't work, because I'm sure there are some that do. Hopefully prices may, come down in the future, but there are some excellent products and there's some that are just okay and they don't quite do what we need them to do. So you do your research, talk to people if they have them. Maybe they can point you in a direction of what they felt is good for them. That's really kind of like the first steps, right? Just research, research, research. Now, there is no set rule for how long that you have to practice grounding. Some studies have shown that benefits can happen in as little as like 30 minutes, but other people are saying, wow, we recommend to, aim for 10 to 20 minutes a day. While there would technically be zero to minimal side effects associated with something as simple as grounding, I just want to remind you that you still need to be mindful of a few things, like possible allergic reactions to any grass or plant life that you're walking on, as well as things like, insects, bacteria, parasites, and heavy metals that might be in the soil. Additionally, when you're grounding, especially if you haven't been out in the elements barefoot for a while, your body will start to detox, just as if you were doing a body cleanse with juices or fasting and that kind of thing. So just make sure to take it slow, personalize your experience for what is best for you. There is a ton of information on the internet and several published books on this subject, so please make sure, again, do your research before beginning this or any other protocol that I discuss. That's important. Now, another critical tool for your foundational health kit is meditation. Why? Because it's one of the fastest ways to get out of your physical body and into a higher state of being. Once you actually practice this enough, you'll find that you can instantly transform your emotional state of being, even in a crisis situation. Now, as a reminder, the key focus that our higher teams want us to remember is that this type of health prep kit is to help us increase, stabilize, and empower our frequency body. When we raise our vibration, we heal. If we are out of balance and tune our personal instrument, we are harmonizing with a high frequency environment, which means lower frequencies cannot reach us. Additionally, what I'm being asked to disclose here is not just about the healing aspects of meditation that we know about, like stress relief or even healing. Meditation helps us learn how to connect, not just with our Creator, but with each other and with ourselves. Meditation is a gateway. It is the way shower to accessing the consciousness we need to live in 5D and beyond. for things like telepathic communication, teleportation, and it's even the precursor to how we will fly spaceships when the time is right, of course, because a pilot will need to interface his or her consciousness with the craft that they would fly, because the craft would be biologically built for the pilot. While other civilizations do this now, we're in the infant stages of developing our natural gifts, ones that we should have been able to do a long time ago, but obviously for reasons maybe unknown, known and unknown to us now, we're kind of dealing with what we're dealing with. But meditation opens that doorway. It opens the door literally to our pineal gland, which is our personal portal to everything in the universe. And if you were not aware already, the pineal gland was the other part of us that was disconnected or blocked from accessing the information that we've needed to increase our frequency. I find it interesting that our corporeal 3D bodies have been disconnected from both the higher realms of consciousness through the pineal gland and also from our feet that walk the earth, the two parts of the body that give us health and high consciousness. The incredible news here is that we have the opportunity to rewire all of this now and use meditation to raise our frequency and unblock the pineal gland. Now, as we move into the next 3 to 6 months, while things may look chaotic in our outer world, I'm being shown that using meditation will help ensure that we not only stay balanced and healthy, but it will support us in developing our intuition very quickly, because all of that is starting to come online. Some of you have already experienced it, but it's going to be outstanding and something that we can use to our advantage. So again, many have already told me that they're starting to experience more psychic intuition right now. And I'm seeing and I'm being told that many of you out there, if you haven't come online with that, you're going to start to feel it more than likely before the end of this year. So that's just a blink away. So this is coming up really, really fast. Now, of course, if your intuition is getting stronger and your frequency is being raised, you'll be able to see truths that you may not have been able to see before, and your discernment will be sharper. So you can navigate the waters a little bit easier with people, places, and things, and so on. You know, right now it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily life and all of the high strangeness that is going on around us. So it's really not a surprise that life in general often leads to losing touch with our deeper selves. But with meditation, one can actually begin to transcend the limitations of the ego and tap into an abundance of inner peace and higher wisdom fairly quickly. These are ancient techniques, but those ancient techniques offer the gateway to elevating your consciousness, allowing you to access the profound depths of your soul by simply slowing down your breath and turning your attention inward. You can embark on a journey of self-discovery that goes far beyond the confines of your everyday mind. But the benefits don't stop at spiritual growth. Science has shown that regular meditation and breath work can have a profound impact on your physical and mental health, like improved concentration, reduced stress levels, lower blood pressure, and even a decreased risk of things like heart disease. It's like a natural, holistic health boost that comes from within. At its core, meditation is about quieting the constant chatter of your mind. You've probably heard that. And it's about bringing your awareness into the present moment. So all of those things are important. But as you bring it together, as you focus on your breath, you'll find yourself becoming grounded in the here and now and in its space of stillness, right? That's something really, really critical, because that's where all the magic happens. And then the racing thoughts that often plague us kind of begin to slow down and lose their grip on our attention. Now, many of us have experienced the tyranny of our own thoughts, allowing them to kind of dictate our moods and our actions. But through meditation, you'll come to a profound realization that you are not your thoughts, that you exist beyond the confines of your mind. Now, while you may have opinions and ideas, they don't define the essence of who you are. So this shift in perspective can truly be liberating. It opens up a world where you're no longer at the mercy of every passing thought or emotion. Instead, you become the observer, able to choose which thoughts to engage with and which to let go of. If you've ever felt intimidated by the idea of meditation, thinking your mind is too busy or restless, of course, you're not alone. Many people share this concern when first approaching this really powerful practice. But here's the good news. There's a gentle, effective way to prepare yourself for the world of meditation. And it starts with something that you're already doing, which is breathing. So breathing exercises are like a warm-up for your mind and body, kind of paving the way for deeper concentration and relaxation. They're a fantastic tool for anyone new to meditation or those who find it challenging to quiet their thoughts. Maybe you've tried it hasn't worked for you. This is the way to go. Now, at the end of the video, I'll post some simple yet really powerful breathing techniques that not only help you relax, but also elevate your energy and awareness. And these exercises are designed to be accessible and very effective at helping you ease into a meditative state with greater comfort. Now, if you're still finding it difficult to meditate on your own, or if you're simply looking for a more guided experience, I have a solution for you as well. Guided meditations can be an excellent way to begin your meditation journey or to deepen your existing practice. They provide structure and support, allowing you to kind of relax and follow along without the pressure of navigating the experience entirely on your own. In fact, I've created a guided meditation specifically designed to help you connect with your higher self and embrace your authentic nature. It's a powerful tool for quickly raising your frequency and tapping into your inner wisdom. And if you're interested in giving it a try, you'll find a link to this guided meditation in the description below and also at the end of the video. Now remember, meditation is a personal journey. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. So whether you start with just a breathing exercise or if you just dive into a guided meditation or find your own unique path, the most important thing right now is to begin something. Now I'll be back with part 2 as soon as I can, but hopefully today's video will at least help you get started on the 2 foundational pieces that will help you begin to build your health prep kit. If you have enjoyed the content in the video, please like, share with your friends and family, but most importantly, please do your best to explain to them, help them understand that while the next few months may look extraordinarily chaotic, that it truly is that transformational stage of that breakdown before the breakthrough. We can and we will get through it, and thriving together in a much higher frequency is on the horizon. Sending love to all. I'll see you next week.